My name is King Rikage. Today we're doing some Lost.Soul Aside, Nightmare difficulty. Hopefully we're going to be able to try to finish it today, and get the last upgrade for our weapon, and then we'll be looking for all the rings next. So we just want to get Nightmare out of the way so we can put it back on easy, so we can get all the rings and challenges done, all the stuff that we missed. So yeah. Also in it, I'm really disappointed, or more like a little upset, that it's already the 4th and rent is due on the 10th. So, and rent is going to be about $1,243, and I have enough to get it, but now it's getting close to the 10th. You know, if we don't leave before the 10th, like our plan was for this month to move out to my new place, you know, which I'm excited for because I got approved, paperwork went through, my rent, we put the payment down, everything's ready, but now we're waiting for them to call me to pick up my keys and then figure out what day I can move out. So now they're playing the long con game and it's already the 4th, so it's making me very irritated and upset, and I can't deal with that kind of baggage in my head. I've been waiting almost a year, 2 years now. We're in 2026. I think it's been about 2 years now, or maybe a year, since we've been waiting for me to move into my new place. You know, I'm at to my breaking point where money situation is really, really rough, and I have to keep asking my people to give me money so I can buy my cleaning supplies. I need toilet paper, I need Lysol wipes, I need dish detergent, laundry detergent, paper towels. All that is supposed to be covered through the state, and instead they're only giving me $75, which is pissing me off because, you know, my money situation is kind of low, which I understand it's low. I understand that, but you gotta think realistically. You think that's gonna be enough for cleaning supplies? Because I did all the math already. I went to the store and done it before. I even went to the cheapest store possible. I went to Dollar Tree and I spent over $60 on cleaning supplies. Can you imagine that? Dollar Tree for cleaning supplies? Cheap brand stuff? Like, and then like I said, I'm stressed out, and I'm trying to think realistically. Like, we need the money, all the money possible for that moving day. And if we get stuck here before the 10th, then we're absolutely screwed. We would have to play the long con waiting game. You know, Charles said not to, or one of my friends said not to stress about it and just be patient and wait. You know, everything went through, everything's processing, we're just waiting for the okay to move. But, you know, I can't stand waiting when the 10th is coming up. You know, it's the 4th. We got Sunday's the 10th. So once the 10th comes, rent is due. You know, they need to think realistically. They can't drop in a hat and say, "Oh yeah, we're ready now. Come get your key." And then all of a sudden there's no money for me to buy a moving truck when the moving truck's gonna be probably like $400, $500. Think realistically. Like they're stressing me out when they don't even know what they're doing. And like I said, it's not this dude's fault. He's not in charge of the apartment. It's the people that are trying to process the paperwork, call me and tell me to pick up the key. You know? So, you know, it comes down to not my staff. It comes down to whoever's running the apartment, processing the paperwork, and the state to literally give me a day to move. Now, if we get stuck here, that's another $1,243, and then you don't even count the electricity, you don't count the Wi-Fi bill, you don't count the phone bill, and then you don't count the Hulu bill, because that's all extra stuff. But if you really think about it, you add all those together, you're looking at maybe $1,345. for a 3-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment, and I don't even have a second person living with me. So, you know, like I said, it's rough. You know, I probably should have never quit my job, but you know, my job, I've been working in this kitchen department for 5 years, and you know, it was a nursing home, and I couldn't stand people in the kitchen department. Like, they had no teamwork or effort. You know, they figured since I'm the young dude, I can do everything by myself. I've been working there 5 years. So when I tell you I work hard and good, I have OCD, so I have to make sure everything's clean in the kitchen. So, like for example, my shift doesn't start until 4 and it doesn't end until 7:30. So when I get in, the first thing I do is I bring the carts down and I bring the plates down, and then after that, I go in the dish room and I clean the dishes because there's always dirty dishes in the dish room. And then after that, we go down and we serve dinner for the elderlies, which is normal. Then on top of that, you got people that ask for stuff that's completely unethical because we have a wheelie cart that has all the food. So when we bring it down to the hallway, we have to serve them in the hallway, and then we bring them their food to their rooms. So when we do that, we got people asking for things that's completely weird. We got people asking for hamburgers. We got people asking for quesadillas, grilled cheese, fried french fries, fried chicken. I'm like, this ain't McDonald's. This ain't KFC. There's a list of what we're serving. I'm not trying to be rude, but they give you a menu and they tell you what's for dinner. So what you're asking for is completely impossible. The cook cannot go back to the kitchen when he's already down here with the hot food. So little stuff like that stresses me out. That means we're going to have to pause what we're doing, and the cook's going to have to go to the kitchen, put the hamburgers in the oven, wait for them to cook, bring them back down, then serve other people their food. Then their food gets cold, then the elderlies get upset, and, just et cetera, et cetera. It's just one nonsense after another. So that's one strike I was really upset about in the kitchen department. The second thing is, when we're done serving dinner, there's supposed to be 2 people in the dish room, 1 person in the kitchen department, and then you got the cook, which is the manager. So the person that's in the kitchen with the cook is supposed to do the coffee and do the nourishments and empty the coffee lids and bring them in the dish room so we can rewash it and put it for the next morning shift. That's 3 chores the cook is supposed to do. The dish room people, we wash the dishes, we take our own trash, we mop the floor, we sweep the floor, and then we put everything else away and wait for the next morning. Then after that, we're back in the kitchen, we do the nourishments, and we help out during the end. But, like I said, the person that's in the kitchen with the cook is supposed to do the nourishments, the coffee, and putting the coffee lids away and putting the soda away in the fridge and dumping the coffee. That's their job. That's their 3 chores. And the 3 chores that we have in the dish room is receiving the dishes. Oh yeah, sorry. And the kitchen, one more chore there was folding silverwares. So there's about 243 patients. So they got to fold 243 silverwares. So, not to break the horn, every time we're out of the dish room, they ask me to do their stuff. Oh, Jose, can you change the coffee? Jose, can you sweep the floor? Jose, can you take out the trash? Jose, can you fold this 243 silverwares? I'm tired. And I'm like, no, that's your job. You wanted to be in the kitchen. That's your job. I'm in the dish room, in that hot, steaming dish room with the other person doing the dishes. So no arguing, do your job. So on top of that, for 5 years straight, I'm doing their job. And I do a good job. And then when it's my turn to be in the kitchen, I always do my job. I fold 243 silverwares. I take out the trash. I take out the kitchen manager's trash. And then I do the nourishments. I change the coffee. I take out the towel bins. Stuff that the person that's supposed to be in the kitchen department does. I do the nourishments by myself. I bring them down there by myself. And then when they're in the dish room, one of them will just argue and say, "Oh, you're going too slow. It's time for me to go home," or some weird nonsense. And then on top of that, when I'm done in the kitchen, they'll come to me and say, "Jose, can you take out my trash in the dish room?" Because we got 2 trash cans. Well, we got 4. We got 2 in the kitchen, 2 in the back room where the dish room is. So, it makes me upset when they ask me to do their job. When their job is supposed to do the dishes, take out the trash, and sweep them out the floor to get all the water and stuff off the dish room floor. And make sure it's nice and tidy for the next morning shift. I don't understand why they got to argue with me. For 5 years straight, they got to argue with me. And I told them, I explained in detail to them, you need to get your house in order, your kitchen in order, because I'm to the point where I'm going to resign and you're going to be fuzzed. Because I'm a good worker and I listen. I get irritated sometimes because I'm stuck doing your job. But you're the manager. You're supposed to tell them what to do. Don't give them a leeway out and say, "Oh, you're young, you could do it." No, that is not an excuse. That is not. That's unacceptable. And I've told them that. To the manager, to the face, you need to do your job. You need to either tell them to quit or resign or do better at your job. Don't have someone else do your job. Do your job. That's what you get paid for. It's for 5 years straight. I'm literally busting my ass doing my job. And then on top of that, I asked the manager, for example, every time I work on the weekend, for 5 years straight, I've been working on the weekends. And I've told them, I don't want to be in the dish room Sunday. You're going to have to talk to someone else and ask them to be in the dish room. I want to be in the kitchen this time. And Saturdays, I can take the dish room. But Sundays, I do not want the dish room. I'm not taking the dish room. I've worked 5 years in this kitchen. I do not want to be on Sunday in the dish room. So we're subbing turns, we're taking turns, and then on top of that, you got people that are in the kitchen department and don't like changes, and they're getting mad upset that, "Oh, it's too hot, I have asthma." That is not an excuse. You grab your asthma pump, you bring it with you to work like a normal person. If you have asthma, bring your asthma pump and go in the dish room. You work in the kitchen department, that's how it should be. Because when I bring my asthma pump everywhere, and I have serious asthma, I don't complain about the dish room. That's just an excuse of what you don't want to do. So little stuff like that was stressing me out. For 5 years straight, I've asked her to go in the dish room and do the dishes. But instead, I'm stuck in there every weekend by myself in the dish room. So stuff like that pisses me off. And I lost it. I was like, you know what? I'm either resigning and you're fuzzed and I'm suing your department because you are discrimination. You're giving one person all these chores for 5 years. Enough is enough. I'm literally a client for DDS. You will be sued because your department is fuzzed and nasty. Because you don't listen when I'm telling you this needs to work out. Even though you hired me, I'm doing all your jobs. That's not okay. So I explained that to them. He's like, "Oh, okay, we understand, Jose. If you understand, how come you haven't fixed it in 5 years?" Eric quit and he was an excellent employee in this kitchen department. Joanne quit because she said something to Jeff that Jeff didn't like, and she quit or resigned or retired. We put up with the nonsense in this kitchen department. We've asked multiple times when morning shift starts, from 6 to 3:30. We've asked morning shifts to do their dishes, take out their trash, take their towels, put them in the laundry room. We've asked them plenty of times to do those things. And you know what they do? They fuck up. They leave towels in the bin. They don't take out their trash. There'll be plates and dishes in the dish room. The floor will be nasty as hell. There'll be the trash can nasty as hell. The buckets where we bring all the lids and stuff to each in the hallway where they need to put the clean plates and the dirty plates is dirty as hell. Little stuff like that for 5 years straight. I explained that to them, you need to get your house in order. I'm not the government, but I will call the government on this place because y'all ain't listening. I hate to be the bad guy. I really do. But, and then on top of that, before I resigned, I worked a Monday, and then that Monday, it wasn't even my day to work. And I didn't know that because they didn't put the schedule up. So, because I work every other Monday. So when I work on weekends, I work Mondays as well. So that's why I knew that was my day to work. But they're telling me that I didn't work. I did a call no show on the next Monday. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I worked Monday. He's like, no, you didn't. You did a call no show on this Monday. I'm like, no, I work every other Monday. When I work on weekends, I work Mondays. When I don't work weekends, I don't work Monday. So, because I work, when I work weekends, I work Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then after that, the next week, I work Monday and Thursday. And that's it. So, sorry, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursday. Yeah, I work 4 days. So Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. And then the next week, I work Wednesday and Thursday, and that's it. 2 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week. So they were trying to fuck up my schedule and tell me what days I was supposed to work and not work, when I know for a fact for 5 years, I know I did my schedule right. So on top of that, when I came in to do my shift, I talked to Dan. He's the cook in the kitchen department. He's a nice dude. I like him. And he tells me, Jose, just do your job and be good. I'm like, okay. I always do my job and I always do a good job. Where's everybody at? He's like, oh, Brandy called out. I'm like, excuse me? He repeated, Brandy called out. She called the phone and called out. Okay, so that's a call no show. That's a call no show. She called, yes, but it was her day to work. You see where I'm getting at? When they have a day to work, they're supposed to work. Like, it don't matter. It's supposed to work. So, on top of that shit was stressing me out. And then the administrator comes in. The manager that owns the building comes in and says, Jose, can I talk to you? I'm like, yeah, good. I need to talk to you too. Okay, Brandy called out again. And we had this issue with everybody calling out. We signed a form, an agreement. If you call out again, you're going to get fired. That's her second call out. No warning, no nothing. Yes, she called, but it was her day to work. Do you understand? That's her day to work, and she did not show up for her shift. Yes, she called out to be nice, but it was her day to work. So now we're short on staff. So now instead of 3 people, we got 2 people. And then you got 1 staff from the morning shift staying at the night shift, doing overtime. That is not okay. It's like, oh, I understand, Jose. If you understand, then why did this happen when you should have called? They should have called someone in the morning to make sure that she should have called in the morning saying she couldn't make it for night shift. Called early so that way staff at night shift could be prepared with another staff. So on top of that, he's like, oh, but this is not about that. It's about something else, Jose. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming over. So they had me in a room, and they're telling me that, Jose, did you call out on Monday? Or did a call no show? And I'm like, no, I worked my Monday, and I worked my Saturday and Sunday, and I worked my Thursday. So what are you saying I didn't call no show on Monday? He's like, oh, it says you called out, did a call no show on Monday. And I'm here to show you this paper that you signed saying the agreement. If you do that, then you're going to get fired. And I'm like, first of all, no, I did not call no show on Monday because I was here Monday. And I worked last Monday. So this Monday was supposed to be my Monday off. I worked 4 days out of the week. And then the next week I worked 2 days out of the week. Wednesday and Thursday. So you are mistaken. Whoever told you this is wrong. Look at the schedule. You'll see the schedule. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. 4 days out of the week. Next week, Wednesday and Thursday. That's it. And then I get my weekend off and my Monday off. So, and then they argue with me. All right, well, I need to send you home. And I'm like, for what? Oh, because you did a call no show Monday. I'm like, no, I didn't. You can ask Dan. He's my witness. I was here Monday. And he's like, yeah, you were here, but you weren't supposed to work that day. And I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean I wasn't supposed to work that Monday? It was my day to work. Saturday and Sunday, Monday and Thursday. That is my days to work. 4 days out of the week. The other week is 2 days out of the week. You are mistaken. Again. And I've told you this over and over. He's like, oh, but calm down, Jose. Relax. I'm like, okay. We're going to get it sorted, but I need you to go home and we'll call you when we find something else. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. I've been here 5 years. I've been a good person. I've been taking out the trash. I sweep the floor. I mop. I do 243 silverwares. I change your coffee. I take out your trash. And now, enough is enough. So this is what's going to happen. Give me a paper. I'm resigning. And we're going to have a heart-to-heart with the government. And they're going to tell you what the hell you're doing wrong. So, you know, I'm moving out anyway out of this town. So you're digging your own hole. So have fun. Put an application on. Hire more people. And you'll see what's going to happen when people start quitting because your department is straight up disgusting and mean as hell and don't do their jobs. Then we will see who's right and who's wrong. So, yeah, I quit. I resigned. And then the next day, the cook calls me. Dan calls me and says, Jose, I need you to come in and work. I'm like, dude, I resigned. I'm not working there ever again. I don't know what you're talking about. They're trying to pull some shady shit with me, telling me that I did a call no show Monday when in fact I worked that Monday with you and Saturday and Sunday and Thursday. So either they messed up their schedule or they fucked up their schedule and they didn't listen. And then on top of that day they fired me, Brandy called out. So on top of that, that should have been her second strike and she should have been fired on the dot too. So on top of that, you got the administration and the manager that owns the building telling me what is going on. And I'm telling them like, yeah, enough is enough. I resigned. I signed a paper. And then after that, Dan calls me and asks me to work. And I tell him, no, I resigned. My paper's done. You know, I've been patient. I've been very patient. I've been good. But y'all need better management. He's like, what happened, Dan? He's like, oh, 5 people quit after you left. And I laughed at his face. Not to be rude, but I laughed at his face. And what'd I say, Dan? What'd I tell you, Dan? Who was holding it together? Doing their part the best they can do. No issues, no complaint. Yes, I get loud sometimes because they're trying to get me to do their shit. But who was holding it together and doing their job? Me. Because I'm doing the trash. I clean the fridge. I change the coffee. I do the silverwares. I do the dish room. And what do? Complain, whine, argue. Call no shows. Argue to each other. Do bullshit. So, no, Dan. You're on your own. I'm sorry. I enjoyed your company. You're going to have to either quit or resign, my dude. You know, if it's that bad, then, you know, it made me laugh when I told Dan, I'm like, yo, y'all hiring now. So, you know, you got people trying to, yeah. It made me laugh when I heard that crap. So, yeah, that's my day, and that's my stress day. So, thank you for watching the video. I will see y'all in a bit.